Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Hit the like and hit the hype for your girl. Whew, it has been a long day. And at first I said, I'm not about to talk about this, but I'm tired of ninjas. I am tired of ninjas and their BS. And I said, you know what? Why not, crew? Let's talk about this nonsense. So as we all know, 50 Cent attached himself to a project that, like I told you guys before, I don't feel like Curtis Jackson was a part of this project from the beginning. This project was pretty much done, and then they asked him to attach his name to it for resources and things like that. And more, as people keep talking about the documentary, that's the way it seems, is that 50 came in at the tail end of it to kind of bring more people in for credibility purposes and so on and so forth. So with that, it's been out. I think it's still number one on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken, still number one. And there has been a lot of people talking about it. But one thing that I have noticed is that a lot of these Black men, especially Black men in the industry, seem to be really upset with 50 Cent. And I'm like, interesting, because when this man first got arrested, when he was at trial, when all of this stuff was coming out, when the video of Cassie came out, none of these ninjas, and I can't even respect them to call them men, none of these moist ninjas were saying anything. They didn't say free Diddy. They didn't say, we support you 100,000%. They didn't say anything. They were quiet as a church mouse. Now that this has come out and 50 Cent is one of the executive producers, now so many people got a lot of things to say. And I'm confused. Okay, now we know Ja Rule definitely is going to find probably any opportunity to say something. Now, of course, Ja Rule is calling him a rat and saying all of these things about 50. And I'm just like, Ja, like, give it up. Just give it up. At the end of the day, you guys are going to be beefing forever. I don't even know if he had this much animosity when 50 did the whole Irv Gotti pack thing with the little fake RIP thing next to it. I don't even know if he had that type of reaction to that over this documentary. And I was a little confused because I was like, I don't remember Ja Rule's name even being mentioned in this documentary. I don't even remember seeing a picture of him. So why is he so upset and got his panties in a bunch about this freaking documentary? But then I remembered, and also 50 Cent made sure that we also remembered, that a certain bodyguard named Gene Deal, who has been around Puffy since before Puffy became famous, Diddy became famous, disclosed some information about an alleged freak-off between Diddy, Ja Rule, and allegedly some other people. Now, I don't know if they was all necessarily women. I don't know. But I remember that. And interesting enough, 50 Cent, of course, because he's the troll king, decided to post the video of Gene Deal talking about that incident, that Ja Rule's cousin was actually trying to get into the room where Ja Rule and Diddy was. And Gene said he busy right now. The cousin tried to get in there and he pretty much took him, body slammed him practically on a piano. And so he posted that. And interesting enough, Ja Rule kind of came back allegedly talking about now he's going to sue because that's defamation, talking to 50 about him posting lies about that situation between him and Diddy. Now, interesting, he's saying he gonna sue 50, but he not suing Gene, who actually said it. And Gene said it years ago, because I remember that actual video. And not only did he say it on his platform, I believe he also said it on other platforms where he did interviews. He didn't say anything to Gene, nor did he go to those other platforms and tell them to take down that video of what Gene said. Nothing, no cease desist, none of that. So I'm like, what the hell is this really about? All right. But first things first, let's talk about Gene Deal, because everyone keeps saying that Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent, is the ultimate petty. And he's doing all of this because of the baby mama, Daphne. Okay, which I'm like, if y'all really think it's over a woman, the way that 50 Cent seems to not really care about any woman, okay. But they keep saying that, or they keep saying, because of course, he keeps talking about the whole suspect, let me take you shopping, that Diddy said to him. And he was like, what you say to me? What did you say to me? And he felt like it was a little too suspect. He keeps saying that too. But Gene actually tapped into something that's way deeper, that I don't know if a lot of people know about it. But Gene actually talked about it 2 days ago, and apparently he mentioned it before. And I'm going to play it for you, that maybe there is a deeper reason as to why 50 Cent will not take his foot off of Diddy's neck. But let's listen to this.
How many of you niggas love your enemy? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. If you love your enemy, raise your hand. If you love a nigga that you won't fuck with, raise your hand. If you love a nigga that's slimy, that'll sex your wife, your son, steal your money, your food out your mouth, raise your hands. Because let me tell you something. What they tried to do to 50. Puff knew this kid could write. Puff knew this kid had admirations to be a rapper, and he was good at what he was doing, because he wouldn't have never had him writing for him if he wasn't. He would have never had him writing songs and putting him up with people that he could write songs for. When 50 got into that beef, or that beef came with him, Ja Rule, and Murder Inc. them, and they tried to erase him, nigga, what is you saying? If Puff would have said, fuck y'all Murder Inc. niggas, I'm fucking with 50, he's a good rapper, the nigga's nice, I don't what you call like that, you understand? 50 could have been on the East Coast. Why did 50 have to get put on by a Detroit brother, a white boy from Detroit, a Dr. Dre? Why? Puff was still the strongest motherfucker on the East Coast. He was writing for Puff. He had music out. Why? Because he helped Murder Inc. blackball him. After he done did all the shit for Puff. Christian, what up with you, mama?
Okay. So he definitely, of course, this is on his live. He's doing his own shout outs and stuff, but that gives you the gist of what he's pretty much saying. And it was confirmed because I remember an interview that 50 did at the Breakfast Club where they talked about him writing for 50 on like 2 or 3 different songs. So Gene is pretty much saying that Diddy yet again snaked someone, and that was 50 Cent. That even though he wrote for Diddy, that when it was time and the whole situation with the ink happened, Diddy took it upon himself because, again, we learned from this documentary that this man despises and is very jealous of people who naturally just have that talent. He hates it. And he wants to do anything he can to destroy it so he can stay on top. We're not going to pretend like 50 Cent doesn't have that it factor. He had that it factor with his writing skills. He had the it factor as far as his rapping skills are concerned. He definitely was that guy who was coming up in New York. Jam Master Jay vouched for him. A lot of people was hearing about 50 Cent. And so he decided to, of course, go with Diddy, help him out, because we clearly know at this point, Diddy probably has not written not one freaking song that he has performed. Everybody else probably writes for him. And I got to say allegedly, but look, it is what it is. And then Diddy snaked him and made sure he was blackballed, thinking that because he's from Queens and he's from New York, that if he got blackballed there, he couldn't get anywhere else. But clearly there were other plans. And one thing about it is that you're not going to be able to tell Dr. Dre what the hell to do. See, a lot of people forget about Dr. Dre because Dr. Dre is like older now, where he don't fall into all of this hoopla and all of this stuff that's going on. But if I had to say who's really the top dog when it comes to the hip hop world, I'm going to have to say Dr. Dre. Beats by Dre, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, he has had better deals, in my opinion. And he has definitely had people come up from under him that has been able to create their own legacy and make their own money. Snoop Dogg, I mean, first of all, we all know he's the producer for NWA, but Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people came up from under Dr. Dre. So one thing about it is that it was a very smart move for him to go that way. And it was clearly God's plan, I guess, to go that way, which tells you that at the end of the day, no matter how much people try to blackball you, if God's plan has a different direction, things can happen, even though the devil tries their best to, the devils and demons try their best to bring you down. So he ends up going over there. And primarily because the East Coast was blackballing him and Diddy, the main person, blackballed him. So if that is the case, now we know that is definitely deeper than his baby mama in that shopping situation. It is definitely deeper. And 50 Cent confirms that he did write for Diddy. You can look it up. I would actually play it, but the problem is a lot of the clips that actually have him talking about that, they actually play the song that he wrote on. And of course, I'm not trying to get no copyright issue over here. So yeah, so that explains why 50 is going to continue. And it also makes me wonder, what did Jay-Z do to him too? Because he definitely is all about making sure that his foot stay on his neck also. So that's the move. And I feel like 50 Cent probably just won't admit that because he, the ego is like, I got played, I got snaked or whatever. But then at the same time, people will probably be like, dude, you're super successful right now. Like, why do you even care at that point? But if that is the primary reason, then yeah, absolutely. 50 Cent is not going to let this ever go away. He is going to continue. But going back to this documentary, you have Ja Rule. Ja Rule, to me, is typical at this point. They've been beefing for over 20 years. But then you have Marlon Wayans. Deciding to chime in on this. He was actually in LA, Big Boy's neighborhood, and I think he was at 92.3, and they were asking him about the documentary, and his main thing is, karma's going to come back on 50. And you know what I'm saying? You kicking this man Diddy while he's down. First of all, I'm turned off and I'm disgusted by all of these men who keep trying to say this black man trying to tear another black man down. First of all, Diddy has been allegedly destroying black men, black women, and black families for 30 plus years. So it's interesting that you moist idiots are sitting up here talking about this one man, 50 Cent, who made one documentary. Mind you, there have been several documentaries already on Diddy. Several. They not saying anything about those documentaries, but they want to talk about 50 Cent attaching his name to this documentary. Now, karma's going to come and he kicking him while he's down. Diddy deserves to be down. Hell, Diddy deserves to be in hell at this point. The man is just straight up evil. But you want to ignore everything that was said in the documentary. Every single thing that was said by people who have been there since the beginning. You want to ignore that, but you just want to target 50 Cent for actually putting his name and attaching his name to it. Why? Why, Ja Rule? Why Marlon? And then Benzino, who also had to make a comment about it and was talking about Gene Deal, and Gene Deal ripped him to pieces. And as soon as I heard Benzino talking, I don't know if y'all remember the Red Roof Inn incident with Benzino in Atlanta, where allegedly he was actually sharing a room with another man and claiming they was working on some type of book or something together. But literally, while Benzino was taking his luggage out, he made a comment to the police saying if they was a white couple, they wouldn't be going through this. He said something to that effect. And I remember seeing that video and I said, excuse me? Did he just say if they was a white couple? So I'm looking at this and I'm looking at Ja Rule allegedly having freak offs and doing whatever, God knows what, with Diddy in those rooms that Gene allegedly said. I'm looking at Marlon, who in my personal opinion, and this is my opinion, that man has been a little sus from the beginning. If you guys ever look at Marlon Wayne's movies, there's not one movie where he doesn't have something that is very LGBTQIA-ish. Always. And for whatever reason, he always like to toot and boot his booty. And a lot of times you see him straight up completely bare in movies. I don't know what that's all about, but I do know that people for years have been speculating and saying certain things, so much so that I think one time he actually addressed it in one of his actual social media pages, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm going to have to say alleged. And then you have Benzino talking about the whole, if we was a white couple, just be honest about y'all possibly participating in these freak-offs. Like to literally have daughters, sons, and be in this entertainment industry. You're not going to tell me Benzino has never been snaked before. Now, I don't know about Marlon because he comes from a big family in Hollywood. So maybe he's been able to kind of get by and not get snaked financially or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Ja Rule, like I'm sure he has definitely gone up and down in his finances. For you guys to have kids and for you guys to understand how grimy this business is, and to literally see the things that are being said about Diddy, to just turn around and ignore all of that, to want to attack 50 Cent, it's very suspect to me. It's very suspect to me. Diddy done put it out there, and I'm going to have to, Diddy, 50 Cent done put it out there. I don't even know if I can actually play this. You know what? Forget it. I'm going to play it. Because I think clearly if it was something that was inappropriate, my guess would be that Instagram would have taken it down. But he goes in on Marlon and they actually show a old, it looks like Instagram or some post thanking Diddy for an amazing party, Marlon. But then when he was on Club Shay Shay claiming that he ain't never been to them type of parties. Yeah, let me actually show this. I don't give it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let me share this one instead. Because Lord knows I have to. I have to. All right, so here we go. Y'all let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see this. Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see 50 Cent and his trolling behavior. Let me know if you guys can see the screen, okay? And then let me know if you also can hear it, because sometimes when I share the screen, it has issues.
Parties that I go to. I don't frequent those type of parties. And even if I go, like I said, been doing Diddy parties for 15 years, and I must say, you never let me down, Puff. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. Good times, people. I've never seen any of this. I'm like, when I hear about it, when did that happen? I never, those aren't the type of parties that I
Oh my gosh, you already know. Okay, so he posted this. Stranger Things earns 23.6 million views in week 2. Sean Combs' reckoning hits 21.8 million views. Like I said, it's still up there. It's still up there.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
Good Morning America. I'm here on Saturday, Good Morning America, with me, Sean Combs, the record. My new Diddy doc on Netflix. Check me out. It's me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping. Or I looked at it like it was like a tester. Like maybe you'll complain.
Thank you. Thank you for entrusting me with this. Damn, you spelled this.
I ain't playing that music. So, child, he just posted this. He had to. Baby, when I tell you this, this man is relentless. Like, oh my gosh, 50. Like, what in the hell? Oh my gosh. Like, but yeah, he keeps talking about the whole shopping situation. Let me ask y'all this. If what Gene said is true and he snaked them and tried to blackball them, would y'all keep coming for him? Would y'all keep coming for Diddy if Diddy tried everything to do to ruin you and team up with the people that allegedly tried to take you out, like take you out of this world, and team up with them to get you blackballed after you wrote for him? How would you feel? How would you feel? Meanwhile, we have freaking Marlon, who is also joined in, and I guess he feel like this is his moment to be able to roast and gag. And I'm like, child, look, he done put 12 years a slave. He done put that up there, child. And then he put up an AI picture, because this is clearly AI. He put an AI picture up with 50 and Puff. I don't know, Marlon. I understand you're a comedian, but I think you're barking up more than you can actually I don't know if you understand how relentless 50 Cent can be. I don't know if you even want those problems. But it seems like he does. He's going to continue, and it seems like 50 is not letting up either. But yeah, I just find it interesting that all of these men have had some type of rumors or people being very suspect about certain things that they've said and done. And they're all attacking 50, but not attacking Diddy. Y'all don't find that strange? It's almost like they have to protect Diddy. They have to protect him. So their secrets don't come out, maybe. Allegedly. My opinion. Now, I've already said, though, that 50 better have a squeaky clean background. We have heard things about him too. Nothing has ever come out as far as it being true or not true, but we've heard certain things about 50. Because I'm sure if they can get proof or they can start bringing that stuff together, 50's day would possibly come too. You know what I'm saying? Like I said that, I'm like, he better hope no one is mad enough to where they've been recording him or doing certain things to expose him, especially that first baby mama, especially her. But at the same time, I don't like the fact that even if you have an issue with 50, we got to get to a point, especially in the Black community, that at the end of the freaking day, regardless on how you feel about this Black man being the executive producer for this actual documentary, focus on the documentary in itself and what was actually said. All of these Black men and Black women who decided to speak up, and even non-Black people, but I'm sick of this whole narrative that, oh, a Black man trying to take another Black person down, or why you got to talk about Black people. Does it matter what color they are if at the end of the day, what they're doing is evil, diabolical, and wrong? Does it matter? Why should it matter? Why are we playing Super Saver-Ho for a freaking monster? And to me, that's what it's looking like to me, that Ja Rule, Marlon Wayans, and Benzino are willing to actually attach themselves to a monster like Diddy. So then if that's the case, you are the company that you keep. You are the company that you keep. Period. And yes, energy is important, and the energy you put out there is important. But notice, none of them, especially Marlon, who's in the Hollywood game, they didn't mention they're disgusted by Netflix for putting this out. Because my personal opinion, I think this was pretty much done for the most part. They just needed to tie certain strings together. But I don't even know if 50 had anything to do with that footage or Netflix paid for that footage. But no one said anything about Netflix. No one is saying anything about who's the other one. Was it Peacock that did one? I believe TMZ actually did a documentary. No one is saying anything about them, but it's so easy to just point at the Black man because he's an easier target. But if you really that bold, Marlon Wayans, call out Netflix. Oh, but you're not going to do that because potentially you want to try to get a deal with Netflix. So as far as I see it, 50 Cent is low-hanging fruit for y'all to try to get on him or Gene Deal, because you know trying to come at Netflix is potentially going to be be the death of your career. I'm just going to say it. Because at the end of the day, Netflix right now is one of the biggest powerhouses out there at this point in the Hollywood game. Hell, they are potentially about to buy Warner Brothers. I'm sure you guys have heard about that. So, yeah. But you want to come at 50 Cent. As far as I see it, the connection and the suspect behavior from all three of them, how you doing? As Wendy Williams used to say. It's giving suspect. It's giving that you're mad because this documentary really exposed a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Now, sidebar, because I want to talk about this. Gene Deal did say that Kurt Burrows from the documentary that I said he really needs to have his own documentary, or he needs to have his own book. He is alleging that Diddy and Kurt Burrows were lovers. So we clearly know now that SA situation could have been much, much deeper than we can even imagine if that were the case, that they actually were in a relationship. So that would explain a lot. But Before I leave, and I don't have the picture up, but let's talk really quick because we have them alleging that Diddy is responsible for Tupac and is responsible for Biggie. Now, apparently, Diddy wanted to work with Tupac. Tupac said, nah, I'm good. And then he became public enemy number one. We clearly know that Biggie was working with Diddy. Allegedly, they were saying, rumor has it, he was trying to renegotiate certain things and maybe even allegedly thought about leaving Bad Boy. We clearly know what happened to him. I'm going to bring this up again, and I'm going to say it again because I still feel like something in the buttermilk ain't clean. Who was Diddy attached to that passed several years ago? He was an EP on the album. Nipsey Hussle. It seems to me that anytime that man attached himself to an artist that's literally about to go to another stratosphere, all of a sudden that person is done or gone. And Nipsey did his last album, Victory Lap. I believe Diddy was the executive producer, one of the executive producers on Victory Lap. Interesting, that year before he passed, he gets nominated for a Grammy. And I believe that same year he left us. And also within that year, or that next year or so, remember that infamous picture that he wanted to post, I guess apparently of him and Lauren London, and a lot of people was trying to figure out what the hell that was all about. He actually posted a picture and it looks like he was checking her out in a seductive way, not as in a sister way. Yeah, somebody needs to just possibly maybe potentially look into that. And again, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only, and this is my opinion. But considering the fact of how they broke this stuff down with everything else, and people who was literally at the height of their career or about to reach another level of their career that Diddy was somehow attached to, and then all of a sudden they either 6 feet under, in jail, no career at all, broke, whatever the case may be. The last person that was making some serious noise that Diddy was attached to, Nipsey. Yeah, Nipsey. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? Y'all find that to be weird a little bit? And at this point, can you put anything past that man? I mean, we clearly have seen from the documentary, it's diabolical. Now, one thing that Marlon did say that I do agree with, when you are doing a documentary and for editing purposes and everything else, you can kind of create the narrative and the story that you want. You can. The problem is, though, you have multiple people in this actual documentary who's vouching for this stuff. You have people on the West Coast side, people on Tupac's side. You have people that was on the Bad Boy side. You even have police officers and their take on this and what Valletta Wallace felt about Diddy. You had a lot of different people who, for some reason, I feel like they don't even connect. Kurt Burrows probably don't even know those police officers that was in the documentary. But they were still kind of saying some of the same things. You see what I mean? So at a certain point, it's like, yes, you can create a documentary, and editing is one hell of a thing to kind of convince people to think of things in a certain way. But I think what made it powerful wasn't the footage, wasn't the video. It was people who were actually there recanting what was going on. And then you have people who weren't in the documentary like Gene Deal, who can break down stuff even more. Before Gene Deal was Diddy's bodyguard, they was a part of some Harlem crew that Diddy wanted to be a part of. He's been around Diddy for a very long time. And this man was a probation officer at that too. So I could also see how Puffy didn't necessarily do things too crazy in front of Gene, because Gene was the law at one point. And I think personally he was scared of Gene too, because Gene said a couple of times like he would have knocked him out. But yeah, I really feel like a deep dive, people who are truly like true investigators. The Nipsey thing just always seemed weird to me. Always seemed weird to me. But considering the fact that all of them passed due to pows, and it just seemed like it was just out of nowhere. Like all of them just ended up being a very suspicious situation. 2 of them drive-bys, another one pulling up randomly. It just doesn't add up, y'all. Now, granted, especially since I'm from here, yes, things like that can consistently happen on a day-to-day basis. But again, all of them, the common denominator was Diddy was attached to him in some kind of way. In some kind of way. And you're not going to be able to convince me that when Tupac passed, Diddy didn't make some more money off of that. Because when he passed, again, even if it's a train wreck, people are still going to seek out how this happened, listen to the music, start buying Biggie stuff, listening to stuff, you know what I'm saying, more at Bad Boy, because it was just like a ping pong effect of people buying this stuff and falling into the East Coast, West Coast beef. We know he made money off of Biggie. And how did he not make money off of Nipsey Hussle? He was an executive producer of his freaking album, the last album, that ironically is called Victory Lap. Come on, y'all. Come on. So, quite interesting. Me personally, I don't see what fool at this point would even want to work with Diddy. Even if that man gets out in however many more months he has, you would have to be a straight fool. And we got plenty of fools out there. Clearly, there's 3 right there, Ja Rule, Marlon, and Benzino. You have fools, I guess, out there that would be willing to work with him. But it's like at this point, this man, I'm like, who did he ever pay? He didn't pay no producers. Apparently, he didn't pay his videographer, which is why they got the footage in the first place. What would be the point when this man consistently snakes people? But again, people have this thing about being attached to a celebrity that they're willing to get screwed over and effed over and literally potentially won't have anything to eat, being homeless. He done had multiple artists and multiple people who worked with him who ended up homeless. Meanwhile, he talking about he about to drop off $200 million in the bank. But on a deeper note, before I go, I think a lot of Black men right now who are defending him, especially Black men in the industry, besides me saying they kind of have this "how you doing" rumors that have been around for some time about them, allegedly, is that if given the opportunity, they would be a Diddy also. And what do I mean by that? They will screw people over just the same if they haven't done it already. And this is where you got to be mindful of people and see what side they're on. And I'm not saying that you got to be, because honestly, I don't put nothing past any of them. And that includes 50 Cent. Like I said, he's not my favorite person in the world. He has definitely said some very interesting things when it comes to Black women and certain things that he has said. But if you are willing to still rock with someone that has been proven to do some very skeptical things consistently over and over again, to me, that is saying that if given the opportunity and the power and the influence, you would probably snake people just like Diddy. So at the end of the day, to me, their truth is out and they have shown their horns. And honestly, it's a punk coward move. It's a moist move to me to come at 50 in this situation. If you that big, bad, and bold and you so upset, go at Netflix, Peacock, TMZ. Go at them and talk about how they taking a black man down. That black man, that ninja Diddy, he took himself down. And honestly, he should have been down a long time ago. Nobody can bring Diddy down. Diddy, after chance, finally got a takedown. Period. So when Marlon said that man is down right now, he should be even further. He should be in hell right now. He should be in straight up hell. Talking about, oh, that man is down right now. So, as far as I see, he should have got more time. He should have got way more time. He's down? No, you know when you say that, when someone's down, you say that when that is actually a good, genuine person who tries their best to live by a moral code and has character and integrity, and then something happens to them, and then they are down, that's when you say that. Not for a man who literally has consistently been the big bad wolf in the industry, in the hip-hop industry, amongst his own people. Diddy's not down. Don't kick the man while he's down. You have got to be freaking kidding me. And so, Marlon, I'm definitely side-eyeing you, Benzino, Ja Rule. Now, we know Benzino, hell. Y'all look up Benzino and just look at half of the freaking police footage they got on him. Body cam has not been Benzino's best friend. That man has been down for a very long time. Down for a very long time. Ja Rule, we clearly know with him and that fire, what was that Fire Island thing that he did? Marlon, Ja Rule probably not going to have a project coming out anytime soon. But Zeno, we clearly, at this point, he probably hoping he can get back on Love and Hip Hop. But Marlon, I'm definitely side-eyeing you. I'm side-eyeing you for real. And you trying to say that 50 Cent is kicking Diddy while he's down. But not saying anything about the allegations that was very disturbing in that documentary. Very disturbing. Which makes me feel like also people do feel like when Diddy gets out, he's still going to have that power. I think that also could be another thing too, that they feel like this man is still going to be powerful. He's going to be able to reinvent himself, that the way that he's been doing it for over 30 years, he has literally been able to come out after tragedy and has been able to succeed. And I think a lot of people feel like you can't really necessarily count Diddy out because he's done it time and time again. And I think this documentary, this particular one, was probably the most eye-opening with how diabolical he can be and how sneaky he can be with being a master manipulator to where it could cause people to be unalived. So, but again, we live in a sick, evil, twisted society where even after all of that, people still would want to deal with Diddy. Wouldn't be shocked if Marlon would go to his welcome home party. All of them would, trying to do a deal with him. Like, these people ain't got no problem dancing with the devil. But they want to look at 50 Cent like he a devil. But not Diddy. Quite interesting. Just quite interesting. But yeah, I definitely, when they all said something, I said, yeah, all of y'all done had rumors about y'all, whether it was stuff that came out of your own mouth or just the rumors out there. So yeah, seems like you protecting your daddy. Yeah. So on that note, y'all, what do y'all think about all of this drama when it comes to 50 Cent? Do you feel like it's deserved? Or do you feel like you don't care who the messenger is, you just wanted the truth to come out? Or is there someone out there who listens to me and they feel like all of these allegations are truly bogus? And if you feel like they're truly bogus and Diddy is not this bad person, please explain to me why. But how do you feel about grown men who some of them practically are probably grandpappies at this point, coming at Diddy, coming at 50 about putting his name attached to this, but not saying anything about Diddy? Mind you, though, they didn't say anything about Diddy when Diddy was getting arrested. Can anybody source them coming out and defending Diddy or saying anything when it came to Diddy when that man was arrested? Hell, even when that man was going to trial. But now all of a sudden, and even Dame Dash had the audacity to say something, that he is not in the business of trying to have a black man promote another black man while he's down, or trying to make money off of that. And I'm like, dang. Another one where I'm just like, you have been suspect. And granted, a lot of people feel like Jay-Z definitely snaked him 50 times over, but dang, like, for all I know, you definitely another one too that probably done got snaked by Diddy, or you was doing some snaking yourself. Like, all of these people are grimy, man. That's like the hip-hop industry especially, they grimy as hell. And I feel like the demons protect their devil. That's just what it is. The demons are protecting their devil right now. Now, again, 50, you better hope and pray ain't nothing coming out about you. But at this point, I'm sure he feels like he can handle that, I suppose. But yeah, let's continue the conversation. But yeah, these three guys, quite interesting. And even Gene Deal, he has had a whole lot to say about this. And Gene Deal said that he did not do the documentary because of the actual director herself, the lady director that was there with 50 Cent on Good Morning America. I guess she wasn't paying enough. And she said that 50, and he said that she said 50 really has nothing to do with this documentary. His name is attached to it, but she's pretty much running the show, which that's what we were suspecting in the first place. But that's the reason why he's not in it. But he also said that Kirk Burrows, like, he cool and all, but he got his snaky moments too. This is what I'm saying. Like, all of them are just, they all foul. They all smell like shit as far as I see it. But with that being said, you guys, like I said, let's continue the conversation. What do you guys think about these three moisketeers? How they feel about 50 Cent and them going off on 50 Cent, and Ja Rule claiming now that he's going to sue 50 Cent, right, but not sue Gene Deal. Okay, so what do you guys feel about these men and what they said? And do you feel that 50 Cent is done, or is he going to continue with this and trolling? And some people are speculating that he's going to do some more documentaries on some more people in the industry. And then also, what do you guys think about Diddy randomly being attached to Nipsey Hussle and being the executive producer of that freaking album, and then pow pow, months later, he's gone? At this point, I am suspect with everything and anything that's attached to Diddy. I'm side-eyeing it all. But with that being said, please like, share, and subscribe, and hype me up. Hyping me up gets me in the algorithm, and especially with small YouTubers like me, hyping definitely gets me in the algorithm where other people can see my video. So definitely hype me up, but please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.